evening, everybody, and welcome to our second annual Skinner Middle School Debate Competition. My name is Nate Braidman. I will be your Master of Ceremonies. Let me explain a little bit to our audience members what we've been doing throughout the year and explain the methodology and the content that we have been studying. What we do, what we abide by, our company, is we believe the best way to master knowledge is to go through a crawl, walk, run strategy. So what we do is in order to master a certain topic, we have the kids memorize certain basic facts. That's the crawl stage, and then we have them draw conclusions from those facts. That is the walk stage, and then we have them develop a persuasive argument and debate and counterpoints, and that is the run stage. And now we will turn most importantly to who. So let me introduce our teams. On my left, immediate left, is Miss Analisa Montoya, and she's the subject matter expert for Appeasement. Next, Miss Aspen Coates, and she is going to be covering the Korean War. Next is Alan Cisneros, and he is the expert on the Cuban Missile Crisis, followed by Daniel Brown. He'll be covering the end of the Cold War, and our cleanup hitter is Mr. Owen Smith, who will be talking all things Iraq. Their competition. On my right, we begin with Mr. Calder McCarthy. He will be debating the Appeasement section. Next, Miss Marissa Lucero will be covering the Korean War, followed by Miss Alondra Gil Gonzalez, and she will be taking the Cuban Missile Crisis. A.J. Sanchez will be our end of Cold War expert, and our cleanup hitter on this team is Mr. Hayden Brightsman. So he will be debating Mr. Smith on the Iraq War. So let's begin with our lightning round drill. What I do is I will ask them questions, and they will have to answer as many as they can correctly in 1 minute for 1 point each. Analisa, are you ready to begin?
Yeah.
Okay. This resolution would have required a national referendum to declare war.
The Laszlo resolution?
Okay. Germany annexed this country in 1938.
Austria?
This German leader caved in to Hitler's demands at Munich in 1938.
Neville Chamberlain?
Define frenzy.
A wild excitement.
The only institution authorized by the Constitution to declare war.
The Congress?
This legislation authorized the construction of 120 warships.
Pass.
Hitler wanted to absorb the parts of this country that contained ethnic Germans.
Poland?
Define impeccable.
Better than everything else.
Define obsolete.
It's useless.
After gobbling up Czechoslovakia, Hitler turned his attention to this port city in Poland.
Danzig?
The foreign policy of the United States in the 1930s.
Isolationism?
This country signed a non-aggression treaty with Germany in August 1939.
Russia?
Okay, very good. Analisa, you've got your why question. Why did Churchill's warnings about the Nazis fall on deaf ears in 1930s Britain? What made the British and French leaders so afraid? So first question I'll ask you is, why were they so willing to give Hitler what he wanted?
Because he used rhetoric, so it made it look like what he wanted was for the good of the people, but it wasn't, because he didn't want peace, he wanted war.
Okay, what were they afraid of, the British and French leaders?
Another world war.
Okay, can you name two consequences of World War I that they were afraid of?
England lost 3% of their population, so they had to pay orphans and widows money, so it had an effect on their economy and didn't have enough money for things like their army.
Okay, and why was this policy of appeasement mistaken?
Because Hitler didn't want peace, he wanted war.
And how did collective security work? What did Churchill have in mind when he spoke of collective security to stop the Nazis?
He wanted to get people together so he could close up on the Nazis and Hitler, so they would just break down on by themselves.
Okay.